Okay, so that is good to go. If there are any questions or anything like that that you, if there are any questions during the webinar, then just let me know. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Derricott. I have been at MetaStock for probably close to 20 years now, actually 18, and I've really enjoyed working here. I've been one of the sales reps or sales professionals, longest standing time at MetaStock, but thoroughly enjoy it. It's a great company, and yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started. Enough about me. We'll just go ahead and read the disclaimer. So today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and accompanying software plugins, and is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. Basically, trade at your own risk type situation. So, and then the lower one is actually just all based on like standard options trading. I don't have to go through all of that. But so with that, let's go ahead and get started. And like I had said in the beginning, if you have any questions or anything like that that I need to re-explain, because sometimes I do get carried away and go a little quicker or faster than I should, then just let me know and I'll be happy to slow it down. And of course, if there are any issues, then let me know. So first off, I wanted to talk about the creators of GoNoGo. Alex Cole, he's on the right side or left side here, and Tyler Wood. So Alex Cole has actually, he's kind of like the engineer of it, or of the GoNoGo. He's actually been trading as this technical analysis for 20 plus years, I think. Or sorry, no, 15. And he has been trading on both a professional and retail level. I've actually got a good write-up here for him. But yeah, he's had a lot of experience with this, and trend following is kind of his specialty. He really enjoys the GoNoGo because of how it identifies the trend very specifically, and it's actually a really good plugin. I really like it for identifying those large trends, and it is great for that because of how well they designed it. One thing, and then I have actually a little write up here. So he's actually been doing the technical analysis for 15 years, and he also analyzes data and visualizations. He's actually worked with teams directing business strategies and development analytics. So they both have a lot of really good experience identifying different trends in the market. And I just couldn't remember everything on their bio, so apologize for that. But basically, they've been in the market for quite a while. Tyler Wood is actually, I believe, general director of the CMT, so Certified Market Technicians, and they both are very knowledgeable as far as the markets go and trading and everything like that. They're a great group of guys that we love working with. So let me go back and restart the slideshow. So first off, here's the GoNoGo charts, kind of a little bit of identifying the trend. So we always hear about that, you know, trade with the trend, don't chase the trend. Make sure you can, you know, some people call it like befriending the trend, if I could talk. And that's really what they've done, is they've taken all of the types of identifiers on how to identify different trends in the market and put them into the GoNoGo. But basically, kind of how it says, it's like they're arguably the most important concept in technical analysis, and that's basically what GoNoGo does, and it really simplifies everything as far as the identification of the trend. I mean, just like everything, it's objective, and but it's also been widely proven with their indicators. So we'll kind of go through all of that today and kind of show you how everything works. But let me, this is actually a chart that I just posted today. This is the SPY indicator. So I just kind of want to give it a little bit of example, and then we'll go through everything that's included in the chart. This is the SPY indicator. So you see on these, and I'll go, like I said, I'll go through. You can see like the go, no goes on here. Here's a strong go, here's a weak go. And I'm going to go through and explain everything. So let me go ahead and open up MetaStock. So one thing I do want to mention is for anybody that's a MetaStock user, it doesn't matter if you have our end of day or if you have our real-time version, you actually get a complimentary light version of GoNoGo. So let's just type in one of the symbols. Let's just go into Apple. That'll probably be a better one. Oops. Okay, and then over here on this side, you can apply the template through the MetaStock Power Console. Just go to where it says Apply Template, and I'm gonna go ahead and click on GoNoGo Charts, and then you just click on Open Chart. And I'm gonna make the chart a little bit thicker as far as the lines go, or the bars. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just zoom on in right here so you can see it a little better. Okay, so the power tool of one of the power tools of MetaStock is the expert commentary window. So I know that we're one of the only companies that actually has this in our, let me make it a little bit longer, in our program. So I like to just dock it to the left side. And what you get with the free version that comes with the MetaStock program, as long as you have either the end of day or the real time, you'll get the colored bars, which identify the type of trend that you're going to be in, and also the commentary window. And then it just goes through and explains to you if the trend is weak, if it's consolidating or sideways, or if it's in kind of like an indecisive area or it's a counter trend. So if you go ahead and you can move this the commentary window, this little upside down triangle, if you just click above where you want to look at it, the expert commentary will refresh these. So right here it has go fish, not enough criteria to really meet any kind of direction. So and then it'll also kind of goes through and tells you here's the possible readings of strong go, weak go fish, weak go, no go, and strong no go. So, and then it also gives you a brief explanation of all of that here as well. So that's really helpful to kind of see. And it's a free version, so you don't pay anything extra on top of just having MetaStock 18.2. But the way you can also apply it in the chart is just, I'm gonna go ahead and right click on the chart, and I'll choose Apply Template. And I'm gonna scroll down my list until I see GoNoGo Charts, and just double click that, and it'll open the chart. And it was the same symbol, so it looks the same right now. So right now with Apple, we're in a weak go trend, so not really a great time to get in on a buy or on a sell, sort of entry on either side of the market. So you can also use this with any time frame. Doesn't matter if you're using the add-on or if you're using what's free. I'm actually a really big believer in candlesticks, so I'm going to make those a little bit just better for me to view since they're very visual. Okay, so that's what you get when you have MetaStock 18.2. Anybody gets it, you just automatically get it as part of it. And again, you just right click on the chart and choose Apply Template, and then you'll be able to apply the GoNoGo. So what's included with the add-on? Let's kind of go through that. Let me hop back over to my explanation of it. So what comes with it is the trend identifiers. I just showed you how that looks on the charts, and it's color coded those different bars. So you got like your pink, your really dark purple, your turquoise, and your yellows, and that identifies your different identifiers of the trend. And then they also included a oscillator identifying and measuring momentum. It basically just goes hand in hand with their indicators and identifying that trend. And then you have also inside there the add-ons, the icons that show you actually the symbols on the charts, and it'll tell you where a really weak go is, a strong go, or a no go, or a go fish, and it actually will put those on the chart itself. Then you have the extra indicators that they have programmed as well for the squeeze, sort of like, I guess you could say like Bollinger Bands. I think he identifies as those squeeze areas, and I think John Carter actually has an add-on with us that he calls it the John Carter squeeze. So it just looks for that consolidating or the sideways area and looking for a possible or a high probability of a breakout off of that squeeze. So, but we'll go through all of that here, and then if I can answer any questions if you have anything like that as well. So let's go through the charts first, and then I'm going to run some scans as well. So if there are any questions after I do that, then just let me know. I'll be happy to help answer those. So again, we just right click on the chart and we will choose apply template. We'll go down to the GoNoGo complete, double click it. Okay, so you can see on the chart here, you've got your different signals on the charts, or your different icons is what we would want to call them. So here's a go. So, and just like before, I can actually take my cursor, my little expert commentary here, and actually move it over to one that I want to look at. So right here was actually a perfect opportunity for a strong go. And it actually goes through the interpretation and explanation why it's a strong go. And then obviously as traders, you make the decision if you want to take that trade or not. So right here, the trend is strong with GoNoGo, trends, unique blend of inputs combining to paint the bright blue bars. So it's that strong go right here is when the trend is strong and it's a high probability that the trend is going to continue. And then you have these other icons on the chart as well. All that means is that's a counter trend correction, but it's still, you're still in a strong go area. So it doesn't, these aren't sell signals or anything like that. This is just identifying that there's going to have a counter trend, but then you can see on the chart it did have a little bit of a counter trend or a correction and then kept going up because it is in that strong go area. So yeah, so those are just identifying the counter trends. Right now there isn't any squeeze, but right now I'm just going to talk about the icons on the charts themselves. So all of these are just identifying counter trends. You can go in and put the expert commentary on there if you just click on the above bar. I'm going to make these into candles again. Make them a little bit thicker. I'll choose okay. All right. So, and then on this side right here, we have another counter trend identifier where the GoNoGo is weak. So how you could treat this is you could use this strong go as your buy signal, and all these are going to help you identify is that the trend is, there's a possible counter trend, but then it's still in a strong go area. So you make the decision if you want to get out or you want to stay in on the longer trend. You are in a strong trend area, so you could definitely stay in the trade at that point. This isn't necessarily how they talk about it, but you could teach or treat this when it changes to those turquoise bars, that the trend has changed from strong to weak. And there's also a red arrow identifying a counter trend, which means most likely it's going to change trend or change trends. So you could get out of that and make quite a bit of money right here, depending on how much you put on your trade. But that's another thing that is nice with this, because you can tell if you're going to be in a strong go area or no go or a weak go. So in this area, when they're in those turquoise looking bars or candles, it's a weak area or a weak go area. So you wouldn't want to trade this area, or you want to trade it on a long term. So if you were in this trade, you'd want to be out at that point. So then, and then again, I have another counter trend indicator right here, but also you have a green arrow, which again is identifying a counter trend. But here's the no-go portion of it, where if you click on that one above, it'll go in there and tell you that the trend is weak. It's a no-go, but that's why it's painting the bars pink, because those are the weaker no-go bars. And that's another thing that identifies all of their trend. These are just all of the icons that you get as part of the add-on, which is very, very simple, easy to use. And then, so right here you have this go fish area. And that just means there's just not enough criteria to really know where the trend is going. So it's not a recommendation to trade in that area just because you're not sure where the trend is headed. It could reverse either on the up or down side. And the little circles on here are just a continuation of the trend that is highly likely to continue in the same trend as it is currently. So those are all of the different icons that you get inside of the add-on. So it's pretty powerful as far as that goes, even if you're just using those to identify your different trades in the market. those will actually be really helpful. And they've actually put quite a bit of work into this to make it as simple as possible to understand the trend and what they're trying to accomplish. So with that being said, let's go back over to our little overview here. So let's go in and talk about the oscillator. So obviously momentum and the oscillators go hand in hand with each other. So what they've done is it helps investors or traders measure and understand the velocity of price trends, giving that information or giving those indicators, giving investors more strength and more opportunities to understand if it's a strong trend or not. So, and then also those, just like with anything, it helps you identify those different reversals or pullbacks in the market. So let's go in and talk a little bit about that. So the oscillator is just this little turquoise line right here, and it's all based on the zero line, just like any oscillator. But what you are looking for, this is actually in, it only actually looks for those long positions. That's the squeeze indicator, excuse me. So this identifies if you've got a strong momentum or a high amount of volume. So you see down here these large, thick blue ribbons, I guess is what you'd want to call them based on the commentary, based on the expert. It's going to give you those strong high volume areas. So if you actually plotted a volume indicator on here, just to see how much volume there is, just as a visual look. So we could go up and we'll just put it in its own window up here. And we will just change that. Yep. Okay. Do that same. So you can see in these areas where it's matching up. Right here, where you had a lot of volume, there's a start of it, and you can see how big or how large how much volume there was. And you could also hover it over, and you can see how much volume here. That one particularly had 162 million in volume. So definitely a good way to identify if it's going to be a strong or a weak trend. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. And so yeah, so that's what this is measuring down here. They are measuring momentum. They're measuring the amount of volume that is happening, and when those large areas of volume are being traded, then it's nice to identify those to know if that trend is going to be strong or not. And then you can kind of just see when it goes above or below that zero line. That's just, again, identifying that trend and momentum based on their oscillator. So that's the other part of it. So I already talked about the icons on there where you got the different, the go fish, the go, no go, strong go, etc. And then you have the squeeze one, which I was mentioning. It's not similar, but let's see, the John Carter, he has a squeeze add-on that just basically shows the consolidation or indecisiveness, and it's highly likely that the trend is going to change. So a perfect example of this, and this is Apple if you didn't catch that, is we see these little orange step-up bars, I guess you could call them, but it's their indication that there is a squeeze and high probability of a breakout or like a reversal, basically. So in this area, I'm just going to put my little line here. So right here, it goes from 0 to 6. Obviously, 6 being the most probability that the trend is going to change, or that there's going to be a breakout. So right here, you had a high probability that the trend is going to change because it's all the way up to 6. This is a perfect area over here as well. Right here, you had some squeeze or basically squoze indicators, and you could really identify that too, just to kind of measure it yourself. Maybe if you want to just plot a Bollinger Band on the chart. So you could just plot that there and you can see if it's really squeezing or not. I'm leaving this as the default, but then we can kind of identify that. So you had some squeezing right here and then it broke out. Same thing with right here, you had some squeezing. And these ones aren't really high areas where you had the squeeze, but if we scroll back far enough, let me zoom out just a little bit. Here's a perfect example right here. You had some squeezing right here, and right here is actually really, really squeezed, and it had a really high measurement of a reversal in the market, or a breakout, which is exactly what happened. So that's everything that you get on extra with the add-on. But On top of that, like I said, in MetaStock, you have the extra commentary window, where the signals are, where it's a strong trend, where it's a weak go, where it's go fish, or basically indecisiveness or consolidating, and really just is a big help for you to understand the trend, which side of the trend you need to be on, and what is the best way or the best time to get into your trades. So what I want to talk about a little bit now, since we still have some time, is I want to talk about the scanning functionality inside of MetaStock. Now, for those of you that don't have MetaStock, that's okay. This is just a demonstration, kind of showing you how powerful MetaStock is, and the different power tools that we have inside the program. So inside of MetaStock, you've got your different options. Obviously, if I want to open up charts, I type in symbols here, etc. And so if I come down here and I click on Explore, and I'm going to go ahead and inside my MetaStock 18, I can actually just do a search for GoNoGo. And you can do all three of them if you want. You can do the trends, squeeze, or icons. So let's just look for the icons. Let's actually do, I'm going to just see yeah, let's do that one. So this one is going to identify all of the trend icons. That one I can actually scan for the icons, but we'll play around with all of those. I'm going to go ahead and do kind of a shorter list. So let's see. Scroll down to the indices. Oops. Sorry, index constituents. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the S&P 100. And then I'll do the NASDAQ 100. So that should give us enough. We're going to do 5 years of data. I'm going to use the daily daily time frame. And then I'm going to go ahead and just, oops, one thing I need to uncheck that last one that was ran. Okay. So we'll go ahead and run the exploration. And while that runs, I'm going to get a drink of water. Okay, so it went fairly quickly. I didn't run a huge list. What it shows, and this is kind of nice, where it'll, here, let me make this a little bigger. So you have the GoNoGo, which is the trend, and this identifies the, the go fish, the price, the trend, and that just, when you have the three or the one, that just means that on that current bar, you've had a go, or the trend, maybe there's a go fish or whatnot. But what we could do is just open up the chart. So just double click it, minimize this. And this is the free one, so we need to change it to the one that is the add-on. And right here you had a go. It was a week go, so you, it's a, what am I trying to say? Yes, I was right. It was a week go, but it is a go nonetheless. And then you can go in and look at the commentary window if this is really something that you want to consider. You could add it to your watch list. Right now would probably not be the greatest time to get in. You had a little bit of squeezing over here, so it is probably time for a breakout, or likely to have a breakout. The oscillator is pointing down below the 0 line, so that's probably not a good entry for a buy, but that's what that scan is for, is to look for those types of opportunities. I'm going to go ahead and open that back up, the report. Let's take a look at target. Looks like we had a go and the trend at 3 using the squeeze, excuse me. Keep forgetting to do that. Okay, so similar situation here. We had a weak go, and again we are in the go, but the oscillator is actually changing directions, and where it's at, both at the 0 line, so most likely that's going to change into a breakout or counter trend to go up in the market, and so you can use that on your watch list and use that also as an indication to buy into the trade. So let's run a couple more scans. So that one was the GoNoGo trend. Oops. Now let's do the icons and see if we can find some opportunities there. We'll do the same list. Oh, I need to close my other one. And then we'll run start exploration. And this one's looking for all of the icons on the chart. So it's that go fish, it's the strong go, the weak go, and everything like that. The last one was identifying the trend, so like the color of the bars, where it had the, or sorry, that other one had the go, no go, and the go fish, etc. This one has the actual green circle, which are counter trends. It has a green circle, red circle, and the way to read this, anything inside the explore window that has a 1 means that it has that on the current bar. So Amogen had a green circle, had a red arrow, and then you have your price and symbol, of course. So let's go ahead and double click on that, and okay, so the green circle means that you're possibly going to have a, or sorry, the green circle is the continuation, the red arrow is counter trend. I flipped that. So in this case, you're actually in a very strong go, and you also have a signal that the trend is most likely going to continue. It's a continuation signal or identification. You're still in a very strong go. You had a counter trend up here and here. That's what these red arrows are. I don't want anybody to be confused that they are exit signals based off of the entry down here for the go. Those are counter trends, meaning that the trend can reverse or, like I said, counter. But once you have this other one, this green circle, that means that you've got a continuation of the current trend. So that's how to read the Explorer. I should go back to the other ones. Okay, here we go. So let's look for anything, no red circles. We've got a couple green circles on here. So let's look at Cisco. And I want to actually change this. So apply template, GoNoGo complete, and oops. Then I'm gonna right click and do save as default template, replace existing, yes. And let me quickly close my charts so I can clear out all my other ones. And then I'll come back to this. Ooh. Oops, my charts, yes. Okay. So now I can come back here and we'll open up Cisco. Perfect. That's gonna do it. All right. I think I saved the other one. Anyway, that doesn't take too long to get it. So right here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. This is Cisco. You had right here kind of some consolidation. Looks like you've got a little bit of squeezing going on down here, but the oscillator is above 0, so that's a good indication of the trend continuing. And you do have a strong go. So this is our first bar on a strong go, but you also have a continuation identifier that the trend is going to continue. Plus, you have a lot of volume based on their measurements of the volume, or sorry, the velocity of the trades going on. You're in a little bit of a squeeze right now, but that means that you've got a most likelihood of a breakout that's going to happen. So, yeah. So yeah, that is a really good way to do some scanning and really identify the trend, as we as traders all know that the trend is and can be our friend, but you also don't want to chase the trend. So this helps you not do that. We don't want to be chasing it because that's not going to do us any good, and most likely you'll lose money trying to do that. Let's go and do some more scanning and look at these other ones. Let's go and do Johnson & Johnson. Had a green circle. Doesn't look like we had any arrows, so it's probably just in a continuation pattern right now, or continuation trend. Johnson & Johnson. Okay, so yeah, this is actually a really good example. You've got a lot of high volume right here. You're above on the 0 line with the oscillator, identifying the trend is headed up. You've had a little bit of squeeze right here, So that definitely means that there's going to be a reversal, or sorry, a breakout. And then you have a strong go. You also have a green circle, which is identifying the continuation of that trend. So that's another, or a really good way to identify if you should get into the trade or not, or if you were already in this trade, maybe you got in down here or whatnot. But that just helps to identify to stay in the trade, because the trend is most likely going to continue. So you kind of get the idea how this works. The different icons compiled together with the MetaStock scanning tool make for a really powerful add-on, a really powerful tool to help you make money in the market, obviously. That's the whole point of this. So let's go and run our last scan, and then we'll kind of talk about it a little bit more. So I didn't do the squeeze one. So, and then the other thing too is if you ever want to know what the scan is doing, you can always hover over the exploration name, and it will tell you that it's going to find any instruments that are currently experiencing a GoNoGo squeeze. So the number that how the squeeze is measured is 1 through 6. So if it's a 1, it's maybe just starting in the squeeze, or if it's a 6, then it's in a really big squeeze at that point. And so you want to keep an eye on that one. So let's run that scan. We'll use the same list. Actually, let's change the list. Let me change it up a bit here. We'll go and do the S&P 500. We'll start the exploration. And again, that's just going to run through the conditions for the GoNoGo squeeze and identify what stocks are in a squeeze to identify those breakout points. Okay, so we've got all of them that are in the squeeze. I'm going to go ahead and just click on this twice. And the ones that have the stocks or symbols that have a 1 are just starting in the squeeze, or we can identify it by the ones that are at a very high squeeze. So let's look at this one. Double click that, minimize this. Okay, this is starting to annoy me. So I'm going to try and redo that again. So let's go and save this as my default template. Place existing, yes. Close all, no. It's my choice, yes. All right, let's try this one more time. No, I think it's because I already ran the scan in the exploration. It's okay. So let's open up this one. Yeah, that's what I think it is. Anyway, it's fine. Okay, so then right click, apply template. GoNoGo complete, double check. And like I said, you can set this so it is automatically your default. It's just not right now for me because I did it wrong. I'm trying to change the chart in the actual chart options, but not in the Explorer. So don't think that you can't do that, because that is a feature of MetaStock. So in this area, you've actually got a high probability squeeze right here. So let's go ahead and put our Bollinger Bands on there again. Let's do okay. So you're coming into a squeeze right here, or you are in a squeeze. In this area, you've got a whole lot of high volume. You're at number 6 with the squeeze, which is the probability or high probability of a breakout coming up. And here's a perfect example of it. You had your squeeze and then a continuation of the trend, and you went up quite a bit right there. So that's a really good way to identify the different squeezes. If it's a really tight squeeze, then there's some indecisiveness going on, and it's probably most likely going to break out of that current trend. And that's what's nice with the squeeze. You can kind of scroll back a little bit and see where it had some really tight squeezes and where it wasn't so tight. But really, it does help you identify the trend and if it's ready to break out, or if if the trend is just going to continue. So yeah, all in all, this is a really good add-on. I've actually had a lot of my customers purchase it, and they all really like it. It's a great way if you love looking and identifying the different trends in the market, looking for what stocks are trending, which ones aren't. You're looking, and you've got some great tools of how they measure their oscillator, their squeeze, and it's just really nice the way they've put everything together in the MetaStock add-on. It's really a nice way of identifying and finding those different opportunities based on the trend of the different stocks. But I wanted to go over one other thing. I'm sure not everybody just trades stocks here. I'm sure we've got some maybe Forex traders, or we've got some futures traders. So let's just look at a couple other symbols since we've got a little bit more time left. And I'm going to go ahead and just change this to the complete instead of GoNoGo. And then let's open up a future as well. And like I said before at the beginning, if you have any questions, then just let me know. I'm going to go ahead and click open. And see, now I have the signals on the chart there. So this is my E-mini S&P. We're in a strong go right now. We haven't got any continuation signals, but we are in a strong go trend. So that's actually a really good opportunity for you. Look at that bar right there. That was just huge. That was back on the 10th. Yeah, and you've also got a little bit of squeezing going on right here. Your oscillator's kind of starting to go down below the zero line. So, but this would definitely be a good one to look at. And the nice thing with this one is it works with any market, any time frame. It's, like I said, it's really kind of a universal add-on to help traders in the market, depending on no matter what the type of trader you are. If you're a pattern trader, if you're a day trader, if you're a position trader, this works with all markets. So this is, I changed it over to an hourly chart in the same time frame, or sorry, in the same symbol. So this is the E-mini S&P. This one you still were on a go fish, wasn't enough information to give you an actual signal, but right here you got a go entry and you had a really strong go. Here's your counter trends, had another one right there, had a little bit of indecisiveness, and then you got your continuation signal right here. So overall, it's a, like I said, it's a really good add-on. A lot of people are really liking it, and it's a fairly newer add-on, but the guys that created it have been doing this for quite some time. So that's the E-mini S&P. Let's go ahead and close this. And I'm going to look at this on a Forex chart. So this is the euro, and we've got this on a daily. We had a strong go right here, and you don't have to have the actual versus go or strong go or whatever. It's really the color of the bars. Although when you do have the go right here, then that helps even more, obviously. So this is a daily. Most of the Forex guys are looking at it on 30 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. Some of them are just hourly. But I just like to show that this works with any time frame, with any type of market. So right here you had a no-go, so the trend is continuing downward. Right here was a go, but you had some consolidating. Remember, if we have a green bar or turquoise bar, that's a weak go. Not one that I would put in a trade at that point. It's really deciding where to go. So there's some indecisiveness with the buyers and the sellers, and they're waiting to see what happens if there's going to be a breakout or not. Your squeeze was getting up there to the 6, so probably not the greatest identifier for a strong trend to be up or down. Yeah, so again, it's really a great add-on for any type of trader, and that's what I really like about it. It's got your scanning, it's got your expert commentary, and that's what's a really powerful part of MetaStock, and a very powerful tool in general, because you can identify everything that's going on the chart and really understand what's happening, because sometimes you'll get a signal on the chart, but you're not really sure how to interpret that. With the commentary window, that's what that's there for, to really help you know if you should be getting into that trade or not. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back over to my PowerPoint and can finish up here. So I've already gone through all of this. Here's an example, like I had shown the SPY with all the signals on the chart, or the icons. Here's the trend that we were talking about. We've got the weak go, the strong go. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Here's another strong go. So that's the trend identifying that we talked about. And then here's your GoNoGo oscillator. You know, just I already showed this, but I want to go through the rest of my slide. and then you got your squeeze and everything like that. So I did go through everything, so I don't necessarily have to go through that part. So I don't need to go through this again because we've already talked about that as a duplicate side. So here's what you get included with this. You get icon change alerts, crystal clear English explanations of every trend state on every bar, the GoNoGo oscillator and the trend identification, and also the 3 explorations based on the trend, the oscillator, and also the squeeze, which is really nice. So for those of you that want to get this, I'm going to do a really special offer here for you. Before I even go into that, I did want to talk a little bit about what you get. So you get everything that I just talked about, the trend, the squeeze identifier, the explorations, the oscillator, but on top of that, you also get a boot camp training. I believe it was about an hour-long boot camp that they've recorded, and you get that automatically when you purchase the add-on. It just appears on your download page. And then you also can, if you aren't a MetaStock user and you want to use this with MetaStock, you can go with our DC version, which just stands for daily charts or end of day, or our RT version for real time. And you get the add-on for $500 off of the normal cost. So that's actually a really good deal. So you'd only pay a one-time cost of $9.95, and we're going to back that by a 30-day money-back guarantee. I don't believe you'll need it, but if you do and you feel like it's just not meeting what you how you trade, then we can definitely give you your money-back guarantee. But you also get 3 months for the price of one with MetaStock end of day or real-time bootcamp training. And since I was the one that did this webinar, you can call my number there directly. It's 800 there. And then I forgot to actually put my other one, so I'm going to email everyone out. If you're overseas, then I have a direct overseas number as well. But for US and Canada, you can call that one. But like I said, I'll email everybody my direct number for anybody that's international. Or you can just email me directly as well. Or you can come into our sales chat, just metastock.com/sales chat, and ask for Dave. If you have further questions or need any help, then definitely let me know. And then here is my number again, but I want to actually hurry and add my number here for international so everyone can see this who sees the recording. So there's my international number. So for anybody that wants to give me a call and you're overseas, you'll dial that 801 number and then it'll come right to me. But for anybody in US and Canada, you can contact me using the 800 number. So just wanted to tell her I appreciate you coming, taking some time on your Thursday afternoon, evening, depending where you are, and spending some time with me. If you are interested in purchasing the add-on, please let me know. I would be more than happy to help you out with that, or if you have any questions about what I've talked, or regarding what I've talked about today, then let me know. Thank you so much for attending, and we'll hope to see you at the next webinar. For those of you that are on our YouTube page, just hit subscribe there if you're not already a subscriber. Really helps us out to get our audience or get our name out there. And also, we appreciate you always joining us for our webinars. Thanks so much, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day.